Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Racing Unleashed. We were here for another iRacing Challenge. It is Challenge 4 for the Challenger League drivers here this week, and in a fortnight's time, it will be this Challenge 4 for the Racer League drivers. Brand new event, brand new car, brand new circuit, and brand new circumstances will happen today. It's going to be a fantastic event that we'll have in store for you over the coming fortnight for these drivers. There's been changes as well to prize money and to the iRating qualification period. We'll get into those in a little moment's time. But we can first hear from James Walker with a little hardware video.
Is awesome. First of all, starting off with the tub, the chassis itself. This is actually handcrafted in Italy, and it's designed to simulate effectively what it's like to be in a single-seater environment. Now, when you lower yourself inside here, you are sitting in a real carbon seat, which is very tricky indeed. Now, what self-respecting single-seater wouldn't have a removable steering wheel? This also carbon effect, real carbon shifters here, and there is a plethora of tech for you to learn as you go down the Racing Unleashed journey. Now, down there's a really trick pedal box. Once again, this is designed to simulate what a brake servo is like on a single-seater with high downforce, really stiff, really reassuring, and you can actually adjust the pedal box itself to get your optimum feel. Now then, racing harnesses. This for me is my favorite feature. There is a retention system inside the shell itself which simulates G-force under heavy braking, and it can actually replicate up to 5 Gs of deceleration. It's super immersive. When you try it for the first time, you can't believe how much it adds to the overall immersion of driving a single-seater. And then to tie it all together, down here at the back, we've got the hydraulic actuators, and this simulates the lumps and bumps, going over curbs, undulations, and just general movement of the car. All in all, it's one of the best simulator experiences you're going to find anywhere.
Thank you there, James, and you won't get to see them pieces of machinery now until September, where we'll be rolling out the new Evo 2 system for the upcoming season in September of our simulator. So different specifications, and hopefully we'll get a brand new video and an update on them as they get rolled out across the 5 racing lounges across Zurich, Madrid and Munich for what is going to be a fantastic season starting only in 3 months time. Calendar as well will all be announced within these couple of months, so make sure you keep our eyes on social media, whether it be Instagram or Twitter, for all the latest updates in terms of the championship for Challenger League and Racer League drivers. It's going to be an absolute cracking season. We had a brilliant event last week in the Assetto Corsa platform, but we turn our attention today to the iRacing, and it is a fantastic event. We saw the Racer League drivers a few weeks ago take to the circuit, and now it's back for the Challenger League drivers' turn, except this time a few changes in iRating for these drivers. So obviously 2 weeks ago you had to have a minimum 6,000 iRating to qualify for the Racer League event. That has now changed. I believe that is down to 4,500 if I'm correct for the iRating to get into that Racer League. So anything lower than 4,500 you will be able to compete in that Challenger League event for today, for example, provided you have done your qualification time and your pre-qualifying and are signed up, registered, and to get into this event. And then anything 4,500 and above will be for 2 weeks' time for the same event, but for the Race League, obviously, again, providing pre-qualification and all the times and information is correct. But we can take a look at the race results from 2 weeks ago back in that Racer League, which it was absolutely fantastic. We had to open it up to the Challenger League drivers. It was Julian Van Buell who took home €200 at the Daytona International Speedway. Toby Soriano was second place, €150 for him, and Gerard Sardini was in third place, €100 to go his way. And that prize money has changed. We'll get into the Racer League prize money in a couple of weeks' time. But the prize money has changed. It's now for the top 5 drivers. And this is a little example. So 4 Challenger League win today. And the win is spread over the point system. 2 races coming up. We'll get into the format momentarily. But a race win will give you €100. Second place, 60. Third place, 40. Fourth place, 30. And fifth place, €20. Bit more incentive now to get a top 5 finish in this championship, and make sure that you are fully focused and stayed in, committed till that end, because €20 doesn't sound like a lot, but it can fund little bits here and there, especially you know, when you're saving up for equipment or saving up for anything else at home, we have a lot of younger drivers who are students at the time as well, who are trying to obviously just take any prize money where they can. So that €20 could go a long way, all the way up to 100 as well. So it's all about being in it till the very end. But it is a new week, it's a new challenge, and it's a new circuit as well as car. I believe we can show you the car for today's venture. It is a Toyota GR86, a 2.4 litre flat 4 engine with 228 horsepower. Weighs 1,359 kilograms, has a top speed of 134 miles an hour, and it does 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 5.9 seconds. Now, the bonus with this, so I was told before coming on air today that it is a fixed setup. So all the drivers will be pretty much running the same setup. This is all going to be driver skill. What we have, though, is a very interesting format. And if you watched the programme 2 weeks ago, you will notice that you would have been aware that it is heavy rain. And we are at Spa, one of the most tricky circuits on a calendar, Spa. It is a 12-minute qualifying session because these cars are, the quickest lap so far in practice is 3 minutes 15. So that just explains how slow these cars are compared to like your GT3s and whatnot. But also the conditions play that factor. So 12-minute qualifying, that should allow drivers 2 laps, maybe sneak a third in if you're lucky. At the end of qualifying there. It is a 25-minute race 1, then it is a 25-minute second race, but the top 15 cars will be reversed. Now, if I look on the timing screens in front of me, there is 23 drivers currently in the lobby in practice. 3 haven't yet set a time, but there is 23 drivers in this lobby. The top 15 getting reversed is the key, and as you saw there, heavy, heavy rain. And I had a little go on one of the simulators here at Apex Racing studio in the simulators downstairs. I've not really driven iRacing a lot, so 1, it was a step into the unknown for me, but 2, the rain is brand new this year for iRacing, and let me tell you, it was tricky out there. If my lap time was anything to go by, I'd be P18 at the minute, so that says a lot for where I am, and I'd be 6 seconds off of the pole. Yeah, exactly, that's why I'm sat behind this desk and not behind the wheel. But these drivers know what they're doing. If they've practiced this event, if they've tested this event, they're going to know these conditions. They may have driven other cars in the rain, so know kind of what the rain will do. But it's a different car and it's a different track. So it's going to be an absolutely fantastic day of racing. And I'm really looking forward to this one because it's a bit like going back to watching some sort of form of Clio Cup or the Mini Coopers you see on the touring car package here in the United Kingdom, where you get to see the same car do battle, close racing. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. That's what we're going to have today in these Toyotas. It's going to be absolutely brilliant to watch. And again in 2 weeks' time when we see the Racer League drivers take to the stage as well. And especially around this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. What a track to do this on. And yeah, 3 minutes 15.7 is the lap. But we can take a little look more into this famous Spa circuit as our track map now will guide us through the twists and turns of this lovely track in the Ardennes Forest here in Belgium. And it is a beautiful circuit, really is one of my favourites as a spectator and a commentator to talk about and to watch the racing around this circuit. Obviously, we have the 24 hours of Spa in the real world coming up later on this month, so that's going to be one that'll be fascinating to watch. But you've got such famous corners like El Rouge and Radion coming down towards Le Combe off the Kemmel Straight. You've got Pouon, the long left-hander before Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane at the very end. But it is a circuit that has got a lot of twists and turns, and there is chances to make mistakes all over the place. And let me tell you now, in these conditions, based off the testing I had a little earlier, in these conditions, Pouon especially is going to be a tricky one for the drivers to get right, as will Blanchimont. El Rouge is the trickiest part. Now, I was doing testing solo. There is, like we said, 23 cars out there on that track at the moment, meaning that they could move some of the standing water. There's a lot of puddles around. Aquaplaning is going to be crucial. You're going to want to stay off the curbs because they are going to be horrendous as you come towards the back end of this circuit. And this is absolutely fantastic track. It really is one of the best ones. Like I said, it's a absolute favourite of mine, and I really do enjoy this. This is the coming to the end now through Blanchimont and towards that bus stop chicane at the very end. It really is a fantastic circuit, and we've seen many a great race, many a great battle here at Spa over the years, not just in the real world, but at Racing Unleashed as well. Who remembers 2 years ago when Michael Smeedle and Alejandro Sanchez kind of did a Schumacher and Hakkinen splitting that of Ricardo Zonda back in the day. Smeedle and Sanchez did the same thing 2 years ago. We saw a great fight at Spa last season in the Racing Unleashed Championship, but now we get to do it not on a Seto course, but on iRacing, on a different platform, on a different game. And one thing that Racing Unleashed hasn't done, especially in my time of being the commentator here, is we've never had weather. So this is a step into the unknown for the Racing Unleashed drivers. Obviously, those guys who play iRacing will be getting used to that weather system throughout this year, and will be getting used to that as the year goes by and as it opens up to more cars and more circuits. That's going to be the interesting thing there. But for the Racing Unleashed drivers who drive in our lounges, they've never raced with the weather setting on for that championship. So this today is going to be really interesting to see a first time on the Racing Unleashed channel weather coming into this event today. It's going to be an absolute fantastic one. There is currently a couple of minutes left of practice, and it is Vlad Tokarev who is currently the fastest man out on circuit, and there is the conditions, and it is no joke. Every apex has a puddle forming on it. This would be red flagged if this was the Formula One. There's no way they'd be racing in these conditions. We are crazy enough to go racing here at Spa in these conditions, and it's going to be some fantastic action here down out of La Source and through towards El Rouge is going to be an interesting part of the race as well. So this is the way the forecast looks, and yeah, it's an interesting one, that is for sure. It's going to be fantastic to see what battles take place here, but it is Vlad Tokarev currently out there on the circuit who leads the way in this session. He has done a 3-minute 15.7 and is just over a tenth, just under 2 tenths quicker than Simon Demori, who's been there or thereabouts all the time. He really is trying to win some prize money. He's been a bit unfortunate through recent weeks, has Simon. But Vlad will be hoping to take home some prize money. Here's Sergio Duran Pardina. Then he's currently on a 3-minute 19 and is 3.7 off the back of Tokarev. But you're just seeing already, look, there we go, under braking, bit of aquaplaning into Le Com. You see the standing water, you can see the puddles through that part of the circuit. It is going to be an interesting one to see through this one as they come down towards the hairpin. Again, you just see them puddles forming on the apex there. I'm seeing in the chat that Ciro Zambra is watching as well. He's saying that we need rain for the land championship in the lounges. I agree. I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. And Ciro, hopefully you'll be taking part in the Racer League event in 2 weeks' time. That's going to be great to see you try and take on these Toyotas in the heavy rain of Spa. But just look at Le Com here. Standing water right through the chicane. That's very nicely done through there for Julian Klaffenbach. And this is going to be, like we say, it's going to be an interesting one to see. He's currently 2.5 tenths off the back of the pole at the moment with a 3-minute 15.979. This is Antoni Toranzo. Currently sat P5 in the practice session. Don't forget there is 30 seconds left of practice before we head into the qualifying stage of this race. This is going to be an interesting one, that is for sure. Ciro is going to look if he can take part. That'd be great, Ciro, to see you out there. And congratulations the other day. Saw on the social media that you won an event, so congratulations to one of our Racing Unleashed drivers, our champion of the Challenger League from 2 years ago. It's coming into Pooh on there. You just see having to take that wider line because you can see, you're going to see a lot of wet lines today. You're going to see who is taking what different line. That is going to be the biggest factor throughout this. So 23 drivers, only one driver didn't settle out. That was Sebastien Rogier, who didn't set a lap time. and the slowest lap time of 3:40. But we are now into the 12-minute qualifying session. All 23 drivers will be out there on the circuit. So this one is going to be fantastic to see. And this one is going to be an interesting qualifying session to take a look at, because the outlap itself is so long that you have to make sure your tyres are prepared for this huge lap as they go into the first flyer. And like we say, if you're out early enough, you might just be able to sneak in a third lap. As Miguel Alonso already coming up through Eau Rouge and Red, and you've seen him not go over the curb there. That was the interesting part of the testing I did earlier, just to see them not go over the curb at the top of the hill, which was very interesting and very... obviously, it's going to be an insight into what lines drivers will take. As we're being told by Sergio, keep an eye on Julian Klaffenbach. He was at Prodigy in Atlanta this year. So Prodigy, the event that Ciro Zambra did take part of, that he managed to get through by being in our simulators here at Racing Unleashed. As Thomas Herzog gave us a lovely little wave, and it's great to see Thomas. We had him in the studio back in Zurich last year for one of the events for the rush hour part of the program. Mr. Ironman himself loves a triathlon. So this is going to be an interesting one to see. Here is Miroslav Sabada. Not seen him since, I believe he took the first race win back at Hockenheim in Challenge 1 of the Challenger League. And I don't believe we've seen Sabada back since then, but he fancies a go here in the wet weather. This is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on, as he comes down now through Blanchimont, and you just have to ease that throttle. Just listen to the throttle here. I wonder if we can get an onboard shot from our producer to really sort of gauge how patient these drivers are having to be. You just see how hard he's working. You can just hear how much he had to feather the throttle through before coming in towards campus then, because it was very tricky. Through Stavolo now. Huge lift, and you just see how much Sabada there is having to work on the steering wheel. It is a huge task for him in this one. But you hear the feathering of the throttle, and that is going to be key tonight. That throttle control is going to be absolutely key for this qualifying session. We are still awaiting the drivers to start their first flying lap. As the drivers coming through the penultimate couple of corners here. And I believe first man on a lap is nobody as of yet. I'm not seeing anybody on a lap just yet. Diego Garza is about to start a lap time though. He is the first man towards the line and will start a lap now. He is the first man to cross that timing beam. I believe now a few others have started to as well. The timing screen just slowly updated, so I believe there is a few others who have started lap. But this is Diego Garza. Let's hear him towards Eau Rouge then and see what that throttle input is like up Eau Rouge. Now these cars, they aren't quick cars by any stretch of the imagination. So you'd imagine Eau Rouge would be pretty easy to take, but in this heavy rain, let's take a listen. You just see the different line, and you heard he may have gave just a little bit of brake as well, as he was really trying to make sure that got slowed down and came up nicely, but he didn't really hit that power until a lot after the first couple of bends. He was pretty much halfway up the hill before he hit the power once again. And this is going to be an interesting race, as here is Gonzalez then. Wide through the first parts of Lecom and through the second. Normally you're all over the curb, but he obviously knows the puddles are there. Now just looking for sector times. Nothing at the moment. Sebastian Roger still not gone out there on a lap, so that would mean 22 drivers will take to qualifying. He didn't set a practice time either, so Sebastian Roger still the only man yet to set a lap time or come out of the pit lane. Here is Vlad Tokarev then. Javier Bacola has gone back to the pit lane as well. So he's yet to pump a lap time in. But here is Vlad Tokarev, quickest in the practice. And it's going to be interesting to see what he can do already. So this is going to be an interesting one. You can see there, great graphics at the bottom. Vlad Tokarev, purple through sectors 1 and 2. Miguel Alonso, only green through the first 3 sectors. So far, so good. If you are Vlad Tokarev. Not gone purple, though, in Sector 3. That has gone away the way of Ruben Villanueva. You just heard there through Blanchimont. You can see that standing water. Great camera shots that our producers are bringing us today. Now look into the bus stop chicane. Puddle right on the apex. And again, patient, bit of a wider berth through that second part of the lap. Onto the curb, not as much as you normally would in the drive. Vlad Tokarev not purple through that 4th sector, and in the 5th sector, he goes purple for the time being. A 3-minute 15.9 for Tokarev. Villanueva has gone P2, Alonso's P3. Sabota already up into 4th place. We saw how much Sabota was struggling on that outlap. And drivers' lap times now coming in thick and fast. This is going to be the interesting one then. Currently on board with Tim Bellicke, who takes an interesting line there through the final chicane. Lovely livery on that car, the white and green. Takes an interesting line through the chicane, comes towards the final line now, and will start his first flying lap. Here does Tim Bellicke. Javier Bacola still in the pit lane, as is Sebastian Rogier. And Harris Skenderi is about to put a lap time on the board. He goes P14 at the moment, some 10 seconds off of the pole time. Here is Edgaras Stau, the Lithuanian, coming through towards Stavolo now. And it's going to be an interesting one. Rolling start today as well in these races. So that is crucial for these drivers to keep a close eye. They're not going to be off the line and as bunched up into turn 1. Depends on what the leader does. Diego Garza has gone back to the pit lane. He's in the pits at the moment, so he's bailed on his lap. May have been invalid due to an off track somewhere. That's going to really hurt him in qualifying. And Stow just hitting them puddles. You see the car stepping out and getting all loose. He comes into that final chicane. Nice and tight towards the first bit and keeps it tight for the second part of the bus stop. And nicely done. Stay to that right-hand side of the circuit as you cross the line. He puts a lap time on the board to go P11. Miguel Alonso now then, P4. Kovacs is in the pits. Tokarev leads by just under 0.4 of a second then. Derek Torres close to the end of a lap. Here is Torres now on screen. Coming in towards the chicane once more. This could be an interesting lap for Derek Torres. Where's this going to put him on the timing screen then? Doesn't stay to the left-hand side of the circuit. Goes 15th, 10.1 seconds off the pole at the minute. Borges Orzo's P14, 5.99. Next man to complete a lap will be Juan Ferrado, just behind. Here is Sabota, though, P7 at the moment, coming towards the bus stop chicane. And it's going to be an interesting lap for Sabota here, then. And as the time will tick to 12 minutes, that is when this session will be up. So I don't think Sabota will get another lap in. Alonso's just gone P3. Sabota crosses the line. He now goes P3, 1.2 off the provisional pole. Thomas Herzog, I believe, is coming towards the line. He has. He's gone P10. So Thomas Herzog there, P10 for him. Mikel Gonzalez Alabao in the, is that cookies or pizza on the car? That's brilliant to see either way. That's 13th place for him at the moment. Simon Demori yet to put a lap time on the board. He's coming to the line now as Tim Bellicki moves up to P9. Here is Skenderi then, the Swiss driver. Comes toward the line, currently P18, 11.06 off that pole, comes to the line now, improves 7.9 off the pole and goes ahead of Torres. Simon Demori still not got a lap time on the board. Diego Garza is coming toward the line now. He's just come through Blanchimont. And it's going to be interesting to see, look at the standing water on this circuit. All over the place at the moment. Just runs a little deep at the first part of the bus stop chicane there, but that's not going to hurt him too much, is it, for Garza? And this is going to be interesting to see as he comes to the line with qualifying 30 seconds from the end. I don't know if there's any driver close to completing a lap. Edgar Stow is. So I believe Stow might just get to the end of his current lap that he's on. And that'll be the end of that. Garza didn't set a lap time. Here is Stow. This is going to be tight to the line. I don't think he's going to be able to put this lap time on the board. 1 second, and nope, there it is. That is unlucky for him. Just a couple more seconds, and he might have been able to improve his lap time there then. But that is qualifying come to an end, and this is the way they line up. Julian Klaffenbach took the provisional pole. Vlad Tokarev P2. Sabota lined up in 3rd place. Miguel Alonso is 4th. On row 3 is Ruben Villanueva P5 with Antoni Taranzo P6. Martin Kovacs in 7th with Gael Gonzalez P8. Tim Bellick is 9th alongside Gianluca Palmisano. Sergio Duran Pardina in P11 with Thomas Herzog lining up in 12th. Mads Lawston is in P13 with Mikel Gonzalez Alabu P14. Edgar Stow in 15th place alongside Borja Zorzo. Then it is Horst Skenderi in P17 with Derek Torres P18. Simon Demori lines up in 19th place. That is not where he'd want to be. He's well out of position from that of Javier Becola. Sebastian Rogier, Diego Salinas Garza and Juan Ferrado bringing up the rear. Now we hope Sebastian will be taking to the grid. We obviously are aware that he didn't take any laps in that qualifying session or in practice. So hopefully he'll be there on the grid ready to go, but we'll have to wait and see in this race as we're all looking for all the drivers to take to the grid, and we'll be able to see where or how these drivers will get away at the very beginning. It is going to be an interesting one at the moment in this race. The drivers now get underway and they take a short rolling start. Bacola and Rogier will not take the start of this race. There is 21 cars. Top 15, don't forget, will get roles reversed in that second race. As we come towards the chicane. And I believe Julian Klaffenbach didn't take the start either. So that puts Vlad Tokarev on the pole. So Klaffenbach there did not take the race start and has already lost out on 20 positions due to tumbling down the order there. And we, for the first time today, well, Tokarev is not waiting. He has already checked out up front. Now Klaffenbach is back. So I wonder if that's a little connection problem on his end there that made him just disappear for a brief moment and come back onto the screen. But it is Julian Klaffenbach down into turn 1. Nice and easy into the lead. A few cars just being very cautious looking to turn 1. And nicely through they go. You see the spray coming up from all the cars, but it is very cautious already at the start of this race, and that is a nice, patient way to go. And I believe that was Sabota trying to go side by side already in towards El Rouge. It's not Sabota, it's the two behind him. who now go single file. That is Alonso and Villeneuve. Tim Bellicke is out of this race, it's saying on the timing screen there, so not sure what's happened to Tim Bellicke. We've only done the first corner, and Tim's already dropped down the standings. Again, I wonder if that is just a little connection issue. We'll hopefully get that resolved for himself. He's not actually out this race. Hopefully so. We'll see what happens. You can see there Klaffenbach out the race and reappearing. So that is definitely connection on Julian's screen. Palmisano is now out of this race. So not sure what happened to Gianluca Palmisano with Tim Bellicke, both out of the race already. And that is not the start they'd have wanted. And Klaffenbach here is flashing all over the screen, as is the fun of sim racing. But Tokarev closely following to the back of Klaffenbach. Down through No Name they go. That is very wide, that from Toranzo. And this is Villeneuve here, who's right on the back of him. Having a look at Blanchimont, but then puddles on the inside aren't going to make it easy. That gap may have just opened. He's now going to try and stick up the inside for the second part of Blanchimont. He's all over the puddles here. Through they go. They make contact, and around goes Villeneuve. Well held to get it pointing kind of now back in the right direction. But really, he's nearly flicked the headset and headbutted his steering wheel there. Be careful, young man. Really, I have to say, kind of his own fault. He put the car up the inside where the puddles was and just aquaplaned into the side of the green and white Toyota. There was another car in the background off, but this is the battle for the lead. It is Julian Klaffenbach already out front, not pulling away, managing to keep a nice tidy gap to that of Tokarev behind him, who's got Sabota there as well. Klaffenbach out of this race again. I assume he's going to reappear. There he is. Whoa, that is rather close for Tokarev for a car to be reappearing. Yeah, that is a little sketchy. And Tokarev is going to try and look around the outside after having a heart-in-mouth moment, seeing that car just reappear in front of his windscreen. He's now going to try and cut up the inside, and Klaffenbach into the pit lane, not sure why. So it is Tokarev from Sabota. And we'll see what happens at the moment. He may have been told about them connection issues that he has to return to pit lane to try and sort that out from race control. Toranzo currently P5 now with the virtual reality headset on. Make sure you look to your right because there's a car there. That is Kovacs. He's trying to tuck underneath through La Source. Gets a great switchback now. Has he got the momentum out the corner, though? They are side by side with each other. And has Toranzo got that move done over Kovacs? It's a great fight at the minute. The Portuguese slash Spaniard gets past Kovacs, the Hungarian. Now Kovacs gets a great run and can try and come back at him through Radion, down the Camel, straight they go. He's gone to the outside, the puddles are on the inside, and you just hear there, Toranzo just had to have a small lift. You heard him hit the puddles. Klaffenbach is out the pits. And I believe, no, just Klaffenbach out the pits. So still Bellicke and Palmisano out this race. In fact, Palmisano is now registering in the pit, so maybe a connection issue for Gianluca. As to Mori, he's climbed up several places in this race, already gained 10 places up the inside at Lecombe. Just aquaplanes a little wide as he comes through the puddle. And he's up one more, he's up to P9 now. So Simon De Mori on a charge at the moment. The Austrian driver has just got ahead of Thomas Herzog. As they come down towards No Name, Palmisano is on the way out of pit exit. Why not get back in this race? Anything can happen. 5 minutes in, 20 minutes still to go in this race. And this already looks a fantastic one. Here is Alabao, the Spaniard, currently 13th place. Remember, the top 15 get reversed. So Borges Arzo and Salinas Garza are on that cusp. Toranzo's now gone wide. That's through Blanchimont. So he's just got to be careful a little bit now. He's lost a place to Gonzalez. And he's got Duran Pedina running the same livery right behind him. Duran Pedina currently running P7 in this race at the moment. And that is wide again from Toranzo. That is through Stavolo then. Goes very wide, dropped a wheel or two onto the gravel on the outside, just trying to push them limits a little bit. Now this is the interesting part, is that standing water that was around this part of the circuit just looks like it's starting to be a little clearer. They seem to be taking a bit more of a normal line through this part of the circuit. Look through Blanchimont though. Still very wide for some drivers, and Villeneuve there through the puddle, up the inside. Herzog's not letting this one go though. And Villeneuve gets the move done over over Edgar Stow, sorry. Palmazono's back in this race now. That was interesting. In fact, that wasn't over Stow. This is Lawson. Clips the back of Duran Pedina there into La Source. Carries on his way, shakes his head there. I don't really see what he's shaking his head at there. Here is Stow at the moment. We can take a look at the replay of the start of this race. This was Tokarev's point of view as he gets away. Obviously looking forward to Kleffenbach, who we saw, it said tumble down the leaderboard, but was struggling with connection. And that was why he was so low down. This is Villanueva up the inside at Blanchimont, and you just see he goes through the puddle, just kind of can't turn in, the car just will not grip, and he slides into the side of the green and white car. Just watch again from the car behind, and yeah, just sort of aquaplanes wide. Torres all on his own into Pouan, just dropping a wheel onto that painted AstroTurf. And this is Gonzalez overtaking Toranzo, who was very wide himself. And look, you just see over the AstroTurf and on the painted area where it is going to be even slippier. On board with Gonzalez, Alibu now on the back of Stow. Kleffenbach back in this race. He's got past Torres. So that is for position. Gianluca Palmisano, 1 minute 48 behind. He's 1 minute 2 behind that of Derek Torres so far. Listen to how patient Alabau is. Gains a lot though over Stow through Pouan. He's going to the outside now. Of the right-hander, and Stow there just drifting a little wide, trying to avoid the puddles. You see the different lines are taking, the wet lines. Oh, steady, losing the rear, but well held at the moment. And Alabau trying to put on a good display here into campus for the third time. 9.5 minutes through this race. A little wider line as well there through Stavolo. Demori's got past Duran Pedina, so Demori's up to P7 now. He is on a charge, is Simon Demori. Really is fired up in this race. And wants to try and get as many positions in this one as he possibly can. Garza here to the outside of Borges. Zarzo at the bus stop chicane. They get very close under braking. Zarzo the inside line. And Garza the inside line now for the second part. Just drifts a little wide. Taps the side of Borges. Zarzo. Little silly there, knowing the puddles on the apex. You're not going to be able to get that turned in. Here's your race leader though, Vlad Tokarev, already doing great things in this race. 3.6 ahead of Sabota, who didn't have outright pace in this race early on. but he's driving a great race so far. I wonder if that's Fast and Furious inspired, that livery. Here's Alonso, P3 at the moment. Kovacs, P4. And then a good train of cars currently behind Taranto, Gonzalez, Demori and Duran Pedina then. Here is Kovacs. This is that little battle. Gonzalez, Demori and Duran Pedina. Demori, though, looking up the inside of Gonzalez. Duran Pedina's trying to follow him through as they're going to hit the brakes for they come now. So Demori's up yet another place. Gonzalez side by side with Duran Pedina. And Pedina still fighting this one. Going to have the inside line for the next part of the circuit, and he does. And is he through? Not just yet. Still side by side. This is great racing as they come downhill. Now Duran Pedina looking up the inside. And Gonzalez has to yield that place. Battle behind as well, side by side action coming into No Name. That was just ahead of these. I believe it was Gonzalez. Oh no, that was Gonzalez and Duran Pedina, sorry, yeah. And now we're watching Thomas Herzog. Sure, I saw two coming side by side through the hairpin. Either way, that looks to have all sorted itself out. Oh, on the painted green stuff, that for Gonzalez. Alabu takes him really, really wide. And Lauritsen then can come past on the outside. There we go. Through goes the Dane. Borges also will be P2 in that second race if he keeps going at this rate at the moment. But he's got Garza on the back of him, trying to put on a good show at the moment. This is looking back from Borges Arzo then. That is a spin there for Garza. Just dropped a wheel over the curb and he lost the rear of the car. Now Duran Pedina looks a little loose coming through Blanc-Jouan towards the chicane. Manny just hold it all together. This is going to allow Gonzalez to have a look up the inside maybe at the bus stop. No, he can't. We're over half race distance. And drivers now just struggling to overtake. They're struggling to see where their lines will be without having to make a few errors. As Gonzalez really trying to put some pressure back on Duran Pedina. Simon Demori is already within 0.8 of a second then of that of Taranto. That is for P5. Demori's actually not got the fastest lap of the race. That's gone to Vlad Tokarev, a 17.1. As Demori is now past Taranto on the timing screens. So he's done that through El Rouge. And Radion, great job, great drive up. 14 places here for Simon Demori. And obviously it's about scoring the points in this one. So this is where it's going to be vital for him to try and score as many points as possible. Gonzalez now trying to come back on Duran Pedina as they're going to look up the inside in towards that then of Lecomte. And can't do it. Pedina hangs on once again. Can Demori in these last 10 minutes gain on the back of Kovacs? He's about 5 seconds behind. It's going to take some doing. But he is currently on the last lap. Simon Demori was 1.8 seconds quicker. So he took a lot out of him last time around. In fact, Simon Demori last time out did his personal best and was the quickest man on the circuit last time around. He's a man who's been there and thereabouts for the last couple of races. He's really trying to take home some prize money with him. Obviously, the extended bit of prize money now for the top 5. which is going to make this a little more interesting as they come through this race. That is Thomas Herzog. Behind him, Duran Pedina. What has happened to him in this one? He's dropped right down the order. Then he's gone from 7th place all the way down to 10th. He's lost a few places. And that is unfortunate because he was having a great race early on and had a great fight with Gonzalez in this race. But now could come under some pressure. Here's Miguel Alonso being put under some pressure by that of Kovacs. And while these two fight and squabble, this is going to allow Demori to gain even more time. He's not really lost any time to the race leader. That gap's now down to 4 seconds between Demori and these two. So he's coming early on here. Hard braking into that bus stop chicane as Alonso is defending from Kovacs. That's who we're looking back on. And there, it was that Demori in the background. I believe it possibly was. So Alonso just manages to break a bit of a gap. Just going to look at the last lap times here. Simon Demori a 3:17.6. Alonso a 19.4. And Kovacs a 18.7. So he's gained again another 1.8 seconds over Miguel Alonso, and he's took 1.1. Sorry, he's gained 1.8 over Alonso. He's gained 1.1 over Kovacs. So Demori here could be having an opportunity at maybe a podium in this race. We have a few more replays to show you once again. This is Taranzo coming up Eau Rouge, and you just see he's hit a puddle and has to take the escape road. Oh, narrowly avoids the wall, sorry. This is Demori's view. This is how he got past him then up through Eau Rouge. So Simon Demori, that is how he got past. Duran Pedina now back on the rear end of Thomas Herzog. Pulls to the outside of Lecomte. And sweeps around the outside. Lovely move from Duran Pedina. Herzog didn't fight that one too hard. Knows there's still plenty of time left in this race, and there's a second race to come as well. As Pedina, look, goes wide. This is what we're saying. Still time for him here to have a look. I believe that is Julian Klaffenbach's connection once again, possibly just letting him down, as you just saw him bouncing back and forth between the places. Oh, Herzog, little moment on the wheel. You just hear him on, off, on, off, on, off the throttle. And Herzog and Pedina gained a place there. I believe Stow is the driver I'm seeing drop down on the timing screens. He's now down to 14th place. So for Stow at the minute, he's really tumbled down. He's obviously had a moment somewhere in this one. So at the moment then, it is Tokra from Sabota, from Alonso. This is the battle for the podium. Kovacs is the car behind him, P4. Look for Simon Demori now. He's got within a couple of seconds. There he is in the background. 5.5 minutes left to go in this race. So this is going to be crucial at the moment, as here comes Kovacs pulling out at the bus stop chicane on the inside of Alonso. Can he make this one work? I don't think he will. He's not far enough alongside. And Alonso tucks that back in, but runs a little deep on exit. And now Kovacs is going to try and come back at him. Will be on the outside line for the source. And I don't think he got the run out the final corner he would have wanted. No, he didn't. But while these two are having a great little battle here, he's now going to think up the inside and tries to send one on that of Alonso. Gives him a wide berth. Into the source they go. No contact made. And I still think Alonso has hung on to this one. He has indeed. This is allowing Demori to get even closer. Gonzalez has dropped down to 8. Villanova has got up to P7 now. And already Demori is gaining on the back of these two, 2 seconds in it. You just see how twitchy and how patient they have to be up through Eau Rouge. They come, but Kovacs really attacking the back of Alonso late in this race. 4 and a bit minutes to go. This is crucial here. This has been great racing in the heavy rain so far, and you just see how much Kovacs here gains on the brake, and he's now going to look on the inside at the second portal. They tap, make bit of contact, but it's well held from both drivers. Durand Pordina loses out to Thomas Herzog down the order, and now Simon Demori will be gaining on the back of them. This is the Durand Pordina Thomas Herzog fight. They now come into Le Combe. And nothing there that Durand Pordina can do to get that place back. Back to the battle for the podium. There is Simon Demori, 1.1 off the rear. Already on the back of these two now. With 3.5 to go. One more lap left in this race. Simon Demori's got this and one more to get himself on the podium. It's been a great drive. And that's Kovacs very wide of Blanchimont. And that'll be it. He's not going to be able to mount a challenge to Alonso now. Just pushing a little too hard. And Demori goes through. He's not lost massive amounts of time, but he's lost enough. Now needs to follow Demori, who is right on the rear of that of Miguel Alonso, who's been defensive and drove brilliantly in this one so far. Fastest lap, Vlad Tokarev, the only man in the 16s, a 16.9. His last lap was a 17.0. Demori, though, is right on the back of these two now. So this is going to be huge for Simon Demori. If he can get a podium, that will be 16 places gained in this race. Well, he's got one more to go. Alonso to the chicane once again. Offers that inside line. Demori's later on the brakes. He's going to try and have a look. Manages to stop the car and thinks better of it. He's now going to try and get a better run out of the chicane down towards La Source. And he didn't get a great launch, but this is it now for Demori. He's got to go here. Stow into 15th place. Him and Garza are having a great scrap. Demori, though, to the outside at La Source. Is he going to try and brake later and tuck back underneath that of Alonso? He's not going to be able to. Alonso driving very defensive and very well here at the moment. Just here, how patient they have to wait. Now Demori applies the full throttle. Now he starts to mount an attack, and he got on the accelerator fully, way quicker than Alonso there, because he's now got to run down the Kemmel straight. They come for the final time in this first race. They are side by side. Demori's just snuck in front of Alonso here, and they are going to be on the outside. Is Demori coming down towards Le Combe for the final time, side by side, braking it at pretty much exactly the same point. Demori sweeps around the outside. That is a great move from the Austrian, who's gained 16 places in this race and is now sitting on the podium. He's now got to not make a mistake in this one. Stow and Garza battling for that 15th place, which will take pole position in the next race. This is that battle, as Garza's actually lost out to Scanderi then. So I'm not sure what's happened. Alonso now back under pressure from Kovacs. Kovacs wants them points. Points mean prizes at the end of the day. The more points accumulated, the more chance of winning the prize money. So Alonso in this race was P3 for all of it up until this final part. This is going to be huge at the moment. Alonso and Kovacs doing the battles once again here, taking it all the way to the wire. I don't think Kovacs has got enough time. He's going to have to go full send into the bus stop chicane, and in these conditions, that's it, even harder, but that was Alonso a little wide. He managed to hold it together, but he looked a little squirrely coming out of Stavolo there. This has been a fantastic race, and Vlad Tokarev's about to come to the line, but this is the battle between Kovacs and Alonso. Contact is made, and Alonso's rounded into the wall. And he is going to tumble down the order, but Vlad Tokarev is going to take the race win. It's been a dominant performance from this man. He has been fantastic in this opener. Sabota will come across P2. Very good drive from him as well. And then it is Simon Tamori. Take nothing away from this man's performance in this first race, because that was fantastic. Kovacs P4, Taranto P5. Villanova is going to take P6. Here is Thomas Herzog. Has he just lost out? He's going to try and tuck back. He spins around the rear of Duran Pardina and holds his hands in the air. Cannot believe it. Villanova P6, Alonso down to 7th, Gonzalez 8th, Herzog 9th, Lortzen P10, Alabau P12, Duran Pardina will cross the line. Sorry, Alabau P11, Duran Pardina P12, Kleffenbach slowing down at the end. That is potentially tactical there for Kleffenbach to cross the line in P14. Borges also crossed the line 13th place. And just looking at the screen here, Edgras Stow, P15. So that will be the top 15 that will be flipped for this second heat. That was absolutely crazy at the last lap, the very end of the lap as well. Thomas Herzog making contact, Kovacs making contact also. And, well, what can you say about it? What a dramatic end to this race. Absolutely thrilling, though, to see such a clean race in these conditions. Drivers still looking to make these overtakes, and it was brilliant to see the different lines and the opportunities drivers were going to take. But what a last lap. Simon Tamori, 16 places gained, and on the very last lap, he takes that final 16th place to put himself on the podium, and that'll be 28 points for Simon Tamori in this race, 29 for Sabota, and Vlad Tokarev will take home 32. He was a cut above the rest in this one, because the only man to get into the 16s, and well, what a race for him it was in this first heat. So the second heat now will be the top 15 reverse. So we can take a look at the results, and it will be the top 15 reverse. So don't forget, whoever finished 15th in this first heat will then be going into pole position for that second race. Let's take a look, though, at the final classification for that first heat, as I believe everybody now has crossed the finish line. It was Vlad Tokarev who took the race win from Miroslav Sabota. Simon Tamori P3 with Martin Kovacs in 4th. Antoni Taranto was P5. Ruben Villanova P6. Miguel Alonso at the very end drops down to P7 due to contact from Kovacs. Gael Gonzalez, P8. Thomas Herzog P9. Mads Lauritsen P10. Mikel Gonzalez Alabau P11. Sergio Duran Pardina 12th after he was tapped around by Herzog at the final corner. Borges also 13th. Kleffenbach, after having to come into the pit lane to sort his connection out, we are being told by race control, does well to get back up to P14. He'll be starting second place in the race. Edgar Stow P15, he'll be the man on pole. Harris Skenderi P16. Diego Salinas Garza P17. He didn't have a great race towards the end, a few mistakes. Juan Ferrado P18. Derek Torres P19. Gianluca Palmisano, not sure what happened early on for him. He managed to get back in for P20. We lost Tim Bellicki in the race, and Javier Bacola and Sebastian Roger never took the start. Now, the drivers have a 3-minute sort of warm-up, a bit of time to maybe just go to the toilet, grab another drink, get some more laps under the belt around this circuit, because you can never have too many wet laps on a track. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one for me. I do feel like Kleffenbach starting second could be a man to take the race win, provided his connection holds up in this one. But Vlad Tokarev, what What a start in this first race for Vlad. It was absolutely fantastic to see him take a fine race win, and yeah, a dramatic end to the end of that race there. Absolutely thrilling stuff. Absolutely thrilling stuff. So the drivers are in that little warm-up period. We'll be getting the grid ready for that second race. And this is going to be interesting to see what these drivers can do in this one. 25 more minutes of action ready to come. Obviously followed by the driver interviews of the top three. After that one, and we'll take a look back to then the prize money, the LAN event prize money, and the dates for the next event. 2 weeks from today, which I believe, looking at the calendar on the laptop in front of me, the 16th of June, Father's Day here in Britain, for the Racer League to take their hands at this circuit, and this is going to be an absolute belter. You're not going to want to miss that one. And then we're back as well at the end of June, the 30th of June, for the Challenger League Challenge 5, which will be announced in 2 weeks' time what that event will be. So that's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. Don't forget, the prize money once again for these drivers is €100 for first place, €60 for second, €40 for third, €30 for fourth, and €20 for fifth. So this is going to all be interesting to see who does what. But it is Vlad Tokarev, 32 points to his name. Sabota got 29. Demori was 28 points. Kovacs and that of 27. Race Control might look at that one. And then it was 26 points going the way of Taranzo. Race Control might want to look at the Kovacs incident. Whether they do or not, we'll see come the end. But that is currently the points for the top 5. Here's the grid order. Then, as we know, the top 15 reverse. Edgar Astow will take pole position from Julian Kleffenbach, second place. P3 will be Borges Arzo from Duran Padina in fourth. Gonzalez Alaba will be P5 with Mads Lauritsen P6. Thomas Herzog in seventh with Gael Gonzalez alongside him. Miguel Alonso alongside Ruben Villanova in P10. Anthony Taranzo P11 from Martin Kovacs. Simon Demori, the biggest climber. He will be going from 13th place. Sabota, quiet race for him. He's 14th. Tokarev, he's been the quickest man apart from qualifying. He is the man going from 15th. Then we go to where they finished in that race. Haris Skenderi, P16. Diego Salinas Garza, 17th. Juan Ferraro, P18. Derek Torres, 19th. Gianluca Palmisano, 20th. Tim Bellicki, 21st. Bacola, 22nd. And Rogier, 23rd. Now, looking at my timing screen, we do not have Bacola, we do not have Tim Balake, we do not have Roger in this one. So 20 drivers taking to the track. 25 more minutes of racing. Oh, edgy seat stuff as we get underway. If you have enjoyed today's action, make sure you join us in 2 weeks' time, the 16th of June, 6:45 here in the United Kingdom, where we'll be live on air for the Racer League drivers to take around this Spa circuit. Edgar Astow will lead us away. And it's a very bunched up start. It's going to be a different start now as we are green and go for the second race here. There's already a driver on the grass. They're all very congested and bunched up into turn one. Oh, we're going to see a few dramas. Everybody braking nice and easy. Very patiently through turn one they go. No problems for anybody at the moment. All through nice and cleanly. Check. Now we get to El Rouge. This is the second battle and the second task for these drivers. Julian Kleffenbach then already leads this race up through El Rouge. He's a little wide through the first part. Drivers you just see taking different lines through the puddles here at Spa. In towards the Ardennes Forest they go now. Here is Julian Kleffenbach being attacked now by Stow. Down the camel straight towards Le Combe they go. Stow has just got his car in front, it says on the timing screens. So just by a couple of inches, he's got the car in front. He's now got the car fully in front of Kleffenbach. Round the outside on the brakes. This is Gonzalez side by side with, I believe, that is Lauritsen. Great action on this opening lap. Everybody still facing the right way and through together. Kovacs got past Villanova there as well. Where's Demori? Where's Tokarev? Down in 16th, so not the start for Tokarev. Demori's already gained 1 place. Thomas Herzog's down 7. And a few off tracks for drivers now as well. And that is a couple in the wall. Who is that? Saboto was one of the drivers in the wall. That is Miguel Alonso, who was recovered. Well, his day goes from bad to worse. He's down 6 places now. Tokarev moves up to 13th. Simon Demori's up to 10th. So this going to be crucial already. And that is Stout, who was leading this race, but going through Puon, has gone wide and has tumbled down to P5. Demori now looking up the inside of Gonzalez Alabu in the cookie liveried Toyota. And Demori now up to P8. As we come towards the end of the first lap, here is Scanderi, P13 at the moment for him. Taranto was one of the other drivers off. This is Simon Demori, though. He's already up 5 more places. He's gained 21 places in the racing today. That is Villeneuve, very wide. Gonzalez now going to have a look. Where's Demori going to do? Going to sit behind. He's going to look up the inside of Gonzalez, though. Has to wait. Nearly drove into the back there of Villeneuve. Kovacs has got ahead of Borges Zarzo, so Kovacs driving well at the moment. Demori looks to get the run out the final chicane over that of Gonzalez. There's battles up and down the circuit. Little wiggle for a car behind, as they all come across the line. 18 seconds separate the field at the moment, but Demori is going to look up the inside of Gonzalez. Easy as you like. It's another place for Simon Demori. He's up 6 places. Tokarev is only 12th at the moment. Here comes Tokarev then, up the hill. Demori now side by side, I believe that was, once again, with that of Gonzalez. That's now sorted itself out. It's now Alabau and Lauritsen who are side by side. And then it is Herzog and Tokarev who is also together. Lauritsen gets past Alabau, looking on the back of Demori already. So Demori has lost back out to Gonzalez here. And it's judged to be a racing incident, we're being told, from Alonso and Kovacs from the final lap of race 1. Racing incident, so Kovacs will keep that P4. Here's Duran Pardina up the inside of Kovacs, who was P4 race 1, and Sergio and Herzog racing incidents as well. Duran Pardina stays P3. Sorry, stays P3. Borges Zarzo there. That's Kovacs now up into 2nd place. So he's having a great drive at the minute. Was 4th in the first race. Currently going 2nd at the moment. Could be what he needs to take home that €100. Who's that wide? Gonzalez Alabu is one of the drivers. And I believe it was just Gail Gonzalez who was wide as well. Lauritsen's off the track, and it was Gonzalez who was wide. So Demori up to 7th. Tokarev is now 8th. Alonso's back up to 11th. See, he was off earlier in the race. He's having a look at Gonzalez there. There is no gap whatsoever. And look at Demori, Zarzo and Stout. 3 for 5th, 6th and 7th on the timing screens. They are so close to each other, pretty much pushing each other along. As here comes Alonso, gets better drive out of Stavolo. Oh, who's that sideways? Gonzalez was sideways there, all over the place. And that was the battle we was watching. Now Edgar Astau at Blanchimont has got hurt Demori on his right-hand side. Borges Orzo is just in front in the green car. Simon Demori, is he going to try and keep the nose there for the second part of the chicane? He is. He's not going to get the best drive out of the corner because Borges Orzo is just in front of him and has to wait behind. Sabota's dropped down to 14th place. Palmarzano, in fact, now Gonzalez has got into the pit lane, so clearly got some damage somewhere on that car for Gonzalez. In fact, no, he's been given a drive-through penalty. So it comes on the screen. Drive-through penalty for incident involving Lauritsen at Puon. And Gianluca Palmisano to the outside. Sabota up the inside. Now they've got Garza trying to attack as well. Kleffenbach 5 seconds up the road from Kovacs. But look at this from Palmisano. Doesn't fear anybody. He's going for the attack at the bottom of El Rouge. Who's going to back out of this? Sabota does. Palmisano did not even question that. Didn't even think about backing out there. He just got the move done. Borges Orzo now has lost out to Stout and Demori. Demori's on the outside of him here. That is Tokarev to the outside, coming down the Kemmel straight towards Lecom for the third time. And Zorzo, oh, nearly that from Stout. The unsafe rejoin, very close to tapping that off Simon Demori. Tokarev and Zorzo get through as well. Now Tokarev a little wider there, but that is potentially his line. We can take a look at a few of the replays then. This was Stout on that of Kleffenbach for the race lead at Lecom. Kleffenbach straight back round the outside. Beautifully done. Great racing from the two leaders there. Stout tried to fight it back at the hairpin. Kleffenbach kept it around the outside. Probably the better line to be on. And yeah, gets the move fully done. This is Borges Orzo's view of that move. Right around the outside. Probably more grip out there for Kleffenbach. This is Terenzo at the hairpin. We saw a few cars off, and he drops the wheel, and it was two mistakes on their own. Terenzo just put the wheel on the painted green stuff. Not sure what happened to Sabota. Borges Orzo wide, and this was Kovacs getting past. And then this is what the drive-through penalty was for Gonzalez. Yeah. That is pretty stonewall there. Lauritsen down in 15th place. Gonzalez still in the pits. He's probably called that one a day. And now Tokarev fighting Stout in towards Blanchimont they come. Can't get past. Demori's put a couple of cars between himself and Vlad Tokarev. Sabota down in 11th, so he's got a few more points to pick up. Taranzo is down in 17th, so failed to see where he's going to score the points in this second race to maybe take some prize money home with him. And Demori's just passed Duran Padina on the timing screens. Oh, look at that. Tokarev on the exit, just drives around the outside of Stout. Fully past him. Better traction on the power earlier. Great move. Great move that from Vlad Tokarev. Alonso getting up the inside of Thomas Herzog. No, that's Thomas Herzog up the inside of Alonso, sorry. And Herzog moves into 9th place. So Tokarev's up 8 places. Kovacs is up 10. And Simon Demori is up 9. And Demori now 2.5 seconds off the back of Villanova. But matched him last time around whilst making an overtake. This is Herzog and Alonso. And Herzog backs out of that. Does he? Yes. Tokarev, though, was side by side, I saw, with Borges Orzo. He's not now. He's ahead of Borges Orzo. And this is Kovacs side by side then with Villanova. There in the background is Simon Demori. He's got Duran Pardina on the back of him as they come down the Kemmel straight. Kovacs looking to take home €100 today. He's driving brilliantly and just lets Villanova have the place. But he's gone so deep at the first part of Lecom. Gets the second part horribly wrong because he's got to go so slow as he takes the tighter line. And Kovacs through. Villanova will have to fight another day and try and come back at Kovacs. And all this is going to allow Simon Demori the chance to gain onto the back of him. Tokarev got re-overtaken by Borges Arzo. And then it's Stow, Alonso and Herzog in this train as well. All going nicely at the moment out there. Tokarev currently P7. So that'll give him 24 points to go with his 32. So that'll be 56 points. For Kovacs at the moment, he's having big moments through Pooh. And Kovacs got 27 points in race 1 and he's then currently on for 29. So that'll be 56 as well as Stout. Just so I'm looking at my notes, has had a problem. And Lauritsen nearly into the back of him there. And Garza now on the back of Lauritsen. So apologies, I missed what happened to Stout just so I was looking at my notes. Now Borges also has Tokarev on the outside of him. So 66 points for Kovacs and Tokarev at the moment. Change that because Tokarev gets another place. That'll give him 57 points in this one currently. Simon Demori, 3rd place and 4th place currently. Yeah, that's 3rd place overall at the minute, 55 points to his name there. But Kovacs has lost out to Villanova. So that's a change for 2nd place. And that'll help Demori out because there he is on the back of these two. Kovacs trying to come back underneath Villanova out the bus stop chicane. And has the drive. Is he alongside? Well, yes. Is he past? Not quite. He's fully now. Make sure he chops the nose off Simon Demori. He's going to look on the inside. Whew, how has he got that stopped and not into the back of Kovacs there? That was nearly a huge moment. And he just looks like nothing's happened there, does Simon Demori. So Kovacs back into 2nd place, and back into 2nd place by my calculations overall. So Villanova, Kovacs, Demori is currently the 2nd, 3rd, 4th battle. Duran Pardina is there, a 2nd behind. Vlad Tokarev 3.6 off the back of that. And now look at the slipstream. Demori on the back of Villanova. Kovacs is going to go up the inside at the com. Does Villanova get it stopped? He does. They just rub doors a little bit. Through the 2nd part now, Kovacs will have the inside line for the next part of the circuit. He's up the inside, drifts a little wide. Villanova could have a look, but he's had a snap on exit. Now here comes Demori, looking up the inside at the hairpin, where the puddle is. Thinks better of it. Bit of a slide for Villanova. That's a lot hard to force Demori into the puddle a moment. It is all going off. Kleffenbach leads this race by a country mile, though. Villanova just lost a lot of time this lap over Kovacs, who's just finding it a little twitchy out there at the minute. And Vlad Tokarev, well, at the start of this lap, it was over 3 seconds. He's now 1.1 behind. So he is charging at the minute. Demori all over the back of Villanova here. Duran Pardina, you see there, is just between himself and Demori. I think Tokarev is in the box seat here for positions. Villanova is so twitchy at the moment. He's so loose out there. Just possibly overdriving the car a little bit. But Demori's not close enough to have a look. Where is Taranzo? He's down in 15th. Sabota is up to 10th. So he's on a comeback drive for possibly a bit of prize money here. There is Sabota, kind of all on his own in this one. So we'll see what he does. Duran Pardina, though, has now got Tokarev, who is charging in this race. Demori's done the fastest lap. Tokarev is charging. Demori's past Villeneuve there. Now Villenuve's back in front. Tokarev around the outside of Duran Pardina. That's what's happening in front. Tokarev moved on. Duran Pardina had a bit of a moment. That is Demori out on the curb. He's trying to keep it down towards the inside line of La Source. And he is side by side now with Villeneuve, who's going to have to give him the inside line. Demori's in front. Duran Pardina's got back ahead of Tokarev, so he's had better drive out the chicane. But Villeneuve trying to fight it. He's now on the painted stuff over the outside curb of La Source. And Demori now through. Tokarev's just set the fastest lap on the last lap. Great bit of racing here at Spa today. And the Racer League drivers in 2 weeks' time could be even more fascinating. Here's Borja Zarzo now on the back of Alonso. Up through Eau Rouge. They've got Thomas Herzog behind them. So a little battle here developing at the moment between these two. Pardina and Tokarev. Side by side. Tokarev's through. Here comes Alonso. Being hunted down by Zarzo and by Herzog. Sabota in the background. Stau's got past Taranto, so that's more points for Taranto that he's lost at the moment, because Stau's going to try and go around the outside of Lecom. They do well not to make contact. And Lauritsen is just ahead. Now they bang doors a little bit as Taranto comes back up the inside of Stau. Still together. We've had some fantastic, dramatic racing. Garza's moved up to 16th place. Taranto still up the inside. They still exchange paint. And Stau in the black Toyota, the green and white of Taranto, drops behind and drops to 15th. Tokarev, 7/10 behind Villeneuve, who has been dropped by Demori. This, though, is your race leader. 10 seconds out front. Julian Klaffenbach leads this race. Now, we turn our attention to the points, and by my calculations at the moment, Kovacs, 4th and currently 2nd. That is 56 points. Tokarev was 1st for 32 and is currently 5th. That'll give him 26. So that'll be 58 points, giving him the outright win. Demori took 28 points, and he's now going to take another 28 points. That'll also be 56, tying him with Kovac. But Kovac has had the 2nd place, so I assume it'll go back to Kovacs in the 2nd race, or possibly the average result, which will probably give it then to Demori. For Sabota, he scored 29 points race 1, currently 10th, which will give him 21. That'll put him on 50 exactly. And here is Taranto, though, the other man who was in that points. He was 5th place, 26. He's now 14th. He's only going to take 17 points. It might not be enough, but he's got another move maybe on Lauritsen to put him into 13th place as he goes up the inside towards Blanchimont now. They still are so close to each other, maybe just touching at the exit of Blanchimont. And now towards the chicane. Lauritsen through a puddle. Well held there. And the Dane is fighting hard. Stau right with them. It's brilliant driving. Pocket on the apex, get it through. We can take a look at a few more replays into the final 4.5 minutes. This was Tokarev driving round the outside of Stau earlier on. This is Kovacs on Villeneuve. This is when Villeneuve missed the first part of Lecom. And Kovacs went round the outside and then took up the inside. But that wasn't the end of that fight. And Stau, that's why he's low down the order, drops a wheel onto the curb, round he goes. I tell you what, you've got to be careful with that. You cannot roll back onto the circuit. He just manages not to. That's on board. This is Kovacs getting past, or Kovacs rubbing and exchanging paint with Villeneuve. Demori watching from behind. You see the live action there as well, by the way. Demori on the live action, apologies, has got past Kovacs. So while we're showing you these replays, Demori is up into second place. Kovacs is now third. Tokarev is right on the rear of the pair of them. And that is for P4. This is back to the live action now. This is looking back from Simon Demori. Kovacs now down to P3. And that behind the full red Toyota is out of Kovacs. We've lost Juan Ferraro. He's into the pit lane. And Taranzo is out of the race. 18th place for him. He's probably not going to score enough points for this one. This is Sabota now up to 9th. He's trying to take home a bit more prize money. That is Thomas Herzog behind him. He's fighting hard. He's got past Herzog, who's just lost out to Zaza. Whoa, Herzog. Little too quick into Poo on there. Durant Pardina has got past Villanova. That is why he's had a spin. Alonso's up to 6th. Borges Zazo moves up to 7th. And here comes Sabota, who's going to try and take 8th, but he can't. Villanova gets back up to speed as Sabota comes round. Great racing at the moment in this second race. Been drama all day. The heavy rain has provided us with some great entertainment, and this is going to go down to the wire. Simon Demori, the car in front. The red and white car in the middle is Kovacs. Then it is Tokarev in the full red livery Toyota. Second, third and fourth, and potentially at the moment, by my calculations, 1, 2 and 3 on the points tally for the end of today. Durant Pardina misses his brakes in the background. Tokarev's going to try and get a better drive out the chicane, but Kovacs, wise to that, keeps that line there, and you saw the white flag being waved. Yeah, the white flag is being waved, so this is the last lap of the race. And we can take up a couple of the moments. This is what happened to Taranzo then. Opel Rouge gets a tap from Stout and into the wall backwards. That'll be some damage on the rear of that Toyota. That is why he has gone back to the pit. He's yeah, that's for looking back from behind. And this is what happened to Villanueva. Gets all on the curb and just spins around himself. Back to the action though. Tokarev to the outside, up through Radion, and it's got past Kovacs into third place. Tokarev now is up 12 places and moves into third place, but now Kovacs, can he do anything about this? Tokarev, the only man in the 16s once again in this race. Can Kovacs have a look then back into Le Con? Villanova's got past Borges Arzo, and this the last lap of the race. So Villanova might want, Kovacs might want to get this place back over Tokarev, because that could cost him in terms of Demori and second place prize money. This has been a great race so far. Tokarev is still, though, within 6/10 of Demori, so he could easily get on the rear of him. And I'm loving the fact we get to see the webcam footage, the camera footage of Kovacs here, because you're seeing how hard he's having to work on his simulator at home. We see the guys at previous years at Racing Unleashed in the simulators and the lounges working hard. But not like this. The steering wheel input we're getting to see from Kovacs, who has just let Tokarev maybe get a little too far in front, maybe just overdriving a little bit, fighting with the car too much. Borges Arzo's got back out of Villanova, and Sabota's through as well. And Sabota might fancy a move over Borges. Arzo breaks on the curb, has a moment, catches it. So Sabota trying to get some more points on the board for prize money. Had a little chuckle to himself there, I reckon. But Kleffenbach is coming towards the bus stop chicane. Tokarev is trying to get as close to Demori as he possibly can. Here is Kleffenbach, though. going to be the race 2 winner, the feature race winner in this one. It's a shame about the internet connection race 1, because it would have been a great fight with him and Kovacs and Damori and Tokarev, I have no doubt. But Julian Kleffenbach then will take the feature race win. A great drive for him. And now we turn our attention to Damori and that of Kovacs. And Damori's going to hang on in there. Vlad Tokarev, sorry, he's going to take P3. Simon Damori, P2. 27 places Damori has gained in today's races. Fantastic drive. Kovacs P4. Duran Pardina will come home for 5th place, just ahead of Alonso. Borja Zorzo hangs on in over Sabota. Then it will be Villanova, Thomas Herzog, Mikel Gonzalez Alabau just behind that. Then it will be Mads Lauritsen and Gianluca Palmisano, P12. Edgar Stow, P14. This is horse Harris Skenduri. Oh, little out of shape there. Garza's got a fancy tuck in underneath. He taps the rear end of Skenduri, and that'll be that. P15 and 16 across the line. And Torres then is the last man on the circuit. He's going to come round. Still got a little bit of the trek to go before he gets the very end. But what a day of racing. By my calculations, Vlad Tokarev is the overall race winner. He took 3rd place and a 1st place. So that was 32 points in race 1. And then 28 in the second race. That'll be 60 points altogether. Simon Damori got 3rd place in race 1 for 28, 29 in the second race. So that will be 57 altogether. And then Kovacs, who was 4th race 1, 27 points. And 4th race 2, 27 points. So that will be 54. So I reckon that's the top 3. Sabota was P2, and then I believe it was P8 in the very end there. So that will be 29 plus 23. So you're looking at 52. I think the top 3 is Tokarev, from Damori, from Kovacs. We will await, though, that final classification. Just looking at my screens in front of me. We do, though, have the results of that second race. We can bring them to you now. It was Julian Kleffenbach who took the race win in the second race from Simon Damori. Vlad Tokarev was P3 from Martin Kovacs in 4th place. What a fight from them 3 in this one. Sergio Duran Pardina, P5, with Miguel Alonso in 6th. Borja Zorzo was 7th place. Miroslav Sabota, P8. Ruben Villanova, P9. Thomas Herzog rounded out the top 10. Gonzalez Alabau 11th, Lauritsen 12th, Gianluca Palmisano 13th, Edgar Stow 14th, Horst Skenduri P15, Diego Salinas Garza P16, Derek Torres P17, Anthony Taranzo from Juan Ferrado, Gael Gonzalez. We didn't get to see Tim Belicky, Bacola or Roger start this second race. We can all catch our breath. We can all take a moment. We're just going to wait for a confirmed results from our race control. We can then bring the drivers in for a quick chat. And I believe it is just flashed up on my phone in front of me here by race control that the standings are, and I'm just going to ask my producer, is this final classification that I've just been sent? This is final classification. Vlad Tokarev is your overall race winner. Simon Damori, 2nd place in the points from Martin Kovacs. Sabota will take 4th place. And Kleffenbach, because of that race win, will take 5th place. Alonso would have finished 6th with Villanova 7th. Duran Pardina 8th. Thomas Herzog 9th. And Borja Zorzo 10th place. So the drivers to take the prize money. 5th place, 20 euros will be going the way then of that of Julian Kleffenbach. 30 euros will be going the way of Miroslav Sabota. The 40 euros and one of the drivers we'll speak with on the podium will be that of Martin Kovacs. 60 euros will go the way of Simon Damori, and Vlad Tokarev will take home that 100 euros. That is confirmation right there, and we'll get to speak with the top 3 momentarily. Now, don't forget, if you are new and are interested in joining the action here at Racing Unleashed, one of the rules that's in place to make sure the drivers have that prize money, to make sure we know it is them behind the wheel, have to have a camera on display. We saw Damori's, we saw Kovacs, we saw Tokarev, so they are fine to take home the prize money. If you do not have a camera that is working, and our producers will make sure and talk you through any problems you may have during that, then make sure you do get in touch if you are in that prize money list. as well as maybe wanting to register for future events. If you do, go over to apexracingtv.com, apexracingleague.com. Apologies. Head over to there and check out the registration event for the Racing Unleashed event in 2 weeks' time. If your iRating is 4,500 or more, if not, hold your horses, wait, because at the end of the month, we'll have another challenge, Challenge 5 for the Challenge League. So if it is under 4,500, you can register for that one then. And I believe we can speak with some of our podium position places. We can start though with the overall race winner, and it is going to be that of Vlad Tokrev, who took the race win and will take home €100 with him. Vlad, that was a very good day and some very good racing from yourself.
Thank you.
Just talk us through a bit of that, because it was the second race seemed a lot harder than the first.
Yes, second race was very tight. I expect some crashes and...
Now, the cars seemed very similar today, obviously on a fixed setup. Did that make it harder in race 2 to get to the front?
Sorry?
With the cars being equal, did that make it difficult to get to the front?
Oh, yes, except in the rain there is one racing line, so it's very difficult.
Very difficult. And just tell us about the rain, Vlad, because that looked hard.
Yes, as I said, one racing line, so you just waiting for mistakes or something happened.
A good day for yourself. Sorry, go on. Sorry, Vlad.
No.
A good day from yourself. The only driver to lap in the 3-minute 16s in both the races. So great pace. You have to be happy with first place.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I did many laps of practice, so I'm happy. Sorry for bad English.
No, that's fine. You're absolutely fine. We'll let you get on with the rest of your evening, Vlad. €100 coming your way. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Vlad, very well done, Vlad Tokrev there for the race win. The Russian driver. We can now speak with Simon Demori then, who will take P2 and 26 places over the course of today. Simon Demori gained. Simon, that was a pretty good display of overtaking.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had some quite good battles there, going up through the fields in both races, and yeah, I'm just glad everyone was very respectful also with the difficult conditions, and yeah, they all seemed to cope quite well.
Yeah, very well. It was very tricky conditions. Obviously, with you having to come through so many cars, both races, just talk us through what the conditions was like, what you were seeing from your point of view, because it looked horrendous from what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, when you're up front, or if you have like a big gap in front of you, then it's quite good actually, the visibility. But obviously when you're going from the back of the pack, the visibility is quite poor with the spray coming off of all the cars, and especially going down the long straights, it was pretty awful at the starts. But yeah, I just tried to pick out like some markers at the side of the track, like the braking boards or the start of the curves, that would help me to still know where I am. And yeah, in the end, I'm glad I didn't miss any braking points and cause any big incidents.
Now, you gave me a moment in that second race. You was behind Kovacs coming into La Source. You got so close to the back of him. How did you not manage to hit the rear end? Because I, at one moment, thought you was going straight into him and you somehow got it stopped.
Yeah, I mean, we both took the inside line off a normal line that you would take in the drive, because where the rubber is, there's a lot more slippery in the rain. So we both tried to take the inside line where it's a bit more grippy, but he kind of surprised me because he was braking so early, and also he was kind of overtaking another car, so I thought he would go a bit deeper. But yeah, I just stepped on the brakes a bit more and hoped that the tires will lock up. And yeah, I also saw that it was really close, and I think I also gave him a little tap, but yeah, I'm glad he didn't spin in the end.
Indeed. €60, Simon, coming your way. You've been there or thereabouts for the last couple of challenges. It's great to see you finally in the top three.
Yeah, thank you. I'm super happy as well to be in the top 3 finally after missing out so many times. And yeah, I think the rain might have helped me as well because I did some rain practice. So I think maybe knowing what line you should take and where to brake helped me a bit. But yeah, I've been there or thereabout, as you said, all the races so far, and finally I'm able to take home some money.
Well, Simon, P2 overall today. Congratulations. Enjoy it, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Thank you very much. Yeah, see you.
And we can now, I believe, speak with Kovacs, who takes P3. And he had some great battles in that second race, did Martin Kovacs. Martin, just talk us through your race a little bit, because it looked a great one to watch.
Hey, yeah, it was a blast, you know. I didn't really think that I have a chance, seeing the times before and just seeing the previous challenges. And just before qualifying in practice, I saw the lap times and I figured that maybe I stand a chance. But still, it was 25 minutes, I think, each race in this rain. Ooh, it was something else. Well, I tried my best. I made some mistakes, and I couldn't really find the pace in the second race. It was just around the time both times in both races when Simon caught up to me. So I didn't really put up much of a fight. I was just happy to get through the field, you know, in the early laps. I had a moment there between Borja Zazo and somebody else in the last turn. I think it was lap 2 maybe. I thought that it's the end in the second race. But yeah, I'm just happy to actually finish the race and grab some good points.
Yeah, grab some big points as well as take home €40 with you. It looked fantastic to watch. Obviously, the action was brilliant. You always seemed to be in the thick of a fight, whether it was race 1 or race 2. There was action everywhere that followed you. One thing I noted on commentary there was we got to see your camera. You seemed to be working so hard in your simulator. We saw how twitchy the car was in the wet. Just how hard did you work today? Because obviously it looked like it was a bit of a workout for yourself.
It was. I didn't wear my watch right now, but I think it was somewhere around 400, 500 calories. That's the usual when I do a 1 hour race. It was tough, and I was trying to balance between, you know, taking the normal lines and taking the not so wet lines. And there's an overlap, of course. And just when you want to go faster and tap into the 317s, 316s maybe, you try to improve everywhere, but it's just it doesn't work out that much, and you just try to balance with the throttle, you know, turn the car with it, take it back a little bit, so gain some traction on the front end, and you just need to counter the steer all the time. Yeah, I think this is just maybe unique to me. Some else of the field, maybe they are a little bit more calm in the car. I didn't feel like it wasn't under control all the times, except when I missed my braking point. But yeah, it was good fun. It wasn't really hard to actually drive the cars, you know. It was more difficult to actually race the cars when you were 2 wide, 3 wide, and there's just one single line in Blanchimont, for example. That's scary.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Martin, €40 coming your way. Congratulations today. Great racing. Hope to see you next time.
Thank you. See you.
Well done to the top 3 and to the top 5 as well, who took the rest of the prize money. Saboda came P4 and Kleffenbach P5, taking home 30 and 20 euros. But that is all we have time for in the Challenger League race. 2 weeks' time now, we are going to return for the same event, same format, but the Racer League drivers, the iRating of 4,500 and above. So if you want to take part in iRacing Challenge 4 for the Racer League, head over to apexracingleague.com, get yourself registered. Make sure you're a part of the Racing Unleashed Discord and all signed up and registered. You have to do a pre-qualifying time. The top 30 drivers in that pre-qualifying will be the ones on the grid for 2 weeks. And again, in 2 weeks, we get to announce that brand new Challenge 5 event. I believe we can also show you something that is coming up in September, and that is the prize money for the LAN Event Championship, the in-house event. These are in the Racing Unleashed simulators themselves, the brand new version 2 simulators coming out for this season in Madrid, Munich, and in Zurich, whether it's the airport, the Kemptor Lounge, or in Calm. Racer League prize money per race, 3,500 Swiss francs. francs for a race win, all the way down to 200. For the championship, it is 15,000 Swiss francs if you win it. If you are Michael Schmiedel looking to go for a third on the bounce. Challenge League, you get 750 per race win, all the way down to 100 for a top 10. And in the championship, 3,000 that Yannick Pletcher managed to take home last time for his championship win. Who will be the new Challenger League champion? Well, that all starts in September, and that is what we have to look forward to coming up in a few months' time. But from all of us here at the Apex Racing TV studio, it's been a great day of action for the Challenger League drivers. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time for more of the same at Spa for the Racer League drivers. Until then, goodbye.